What's up, everybody? Good morning. What's up, everybody? Hey. Market split DD bands. Let's take a look at right now. We were doing the same thing a couple days ago. Looks like yesterday. Market just moved pretty quickly to the downside. There's some volatility we picked up in monthly maps. Remember, if you remember my streams last week, I mentioned the volatility was imminent. Looks like yesterday's trading session, market just sold pretty hard. And so continued on that. I would say nothing triggered it other than onset of volatility, right? This is just something that we're seeing. Monthly maps is indicating that there was some calls were expiring, some puts are expiring, sorry. So we had some shifting around in the landscape. Edward, yep, right. You're outside of DD band. An illiquidity pivot below 52.33, sitting right there. Take note that on Thursday, I'm not gonna be able to stream as well. I know my schedule's been kind of wacky last week or so. I'm gonna be out that morning. Take my mom to the hospital for surgery. So Thursday I'll be out for most of the day. Kind of opening up. I'm gonna bring up Thinkorswim really quick. Oh, Garrett, are you recording on DD bands? Oh, this is just one of my lessons from a couple days ago. Up here. Delete. Oh, so you're keeping stats on with DD band breaks. Cool. Oh, dude, I'm excited. Okay, good. Good deal. And out of all these, red line's dead. Red line's dead. Okay. These are all old. I haven't updated this in a while, so let me just move this out of the way. Yeah, so likely chance there's not going to be any trades today unless I find something that's like really good bullseye bounce or whatever for scalp. Yeah, outside of DD bands, market's irrational. I'm trading very small already. These red lights are already there. I'd be very careful. Note that we are above April triple B. This is another thing to take note of. So until the end of that trading month, which is the third Friday of the month, and then the third Wednesday is VIX. You have possibility of having ascended volatility. So trading above triple B is a big deal. This volatility can compound really quickly. So being down here is my cleaner bull markets are down here below this line. We have new line every month. Up here, this is a big deal. See how we're kind of supporting this area and moving higher. Contango midpoint in futures. A little trick from the pros to use to understand how dynamics are going to shift. You trade differently. That volatility being imminent means the market can just spontaneously become more volatile. Look at the pre-market today. S&P looks like it's down about these 30, 40 points at least, maybe 40 points. Nah. April? I can't check your calculation from my stream, buddy. You have to post a picture or something and send it in the Discord. All right. So anything I'm looking for would be bull zone bounces and bullish liquidity maps. Let's see if I can find them. How was you guys' holiday? Y'all have a great week, great weekend. If you have 14.8 or something, you probably grabbed the wrong day. Remember, sometimes the schedule will be off because of holidays and stuff. So sometimes you might have just grabbed the wrong Tuesday to do the calculation. You have to go see when that VIX expiration is. It's usually the third Wednesday of the month, but sometimes it will change because of holidays or Februaries. Okay, let's see what we have. All right. This is very bullish for the VIX, by the way, today. So today's setup is going to be extremely volatile. I'm not going to trust much. Big V's, big moves. All right, let me get my... Oops. Where's my pencil tool? Drawing tool. Okay, right here. This is a big deal. We have this area right here. Any upside today. This is bullish on VIX. Bullish on VIX means the market expands. So let's say bullish on VIX. Anytime the VIX is bullish, when it's hedging on itself, it means the market, the volatility can exponentially widen. So expect big V's, like whatever direction you're trading, expect big V's. It's not going to trend. It's going to be volatile. So be careful on this one today. Liquidity maps are going to just read SPY. You guys notice the first time here, this is how I read the market when I'm using any technical indicators, nothing. I look at the pressures that come from options in the underlying market, and then I just trade off of that. You can see right here, this is bear, short up. This is resistance pressure from hedge pressure to here. Any upside limits itself from high of the day there. For 521, sorry, the high of the day on SPY today. DD bands like smack dab, like right about here. So you've got downward pressure from this area and this area. So today's SPY is just, we'll take a look at this. Resilience is positive, flipping around. Negative resilience is going to have resistance here. So the redistribution zone rule, res greater less than 0. See how simple this is? There's resistance here. Liquidity map, resistance here. So high a day today. 521, no higher. So if anything, I think the market can move here, pull down. Today, I'll short hedge pressure if we do get there. It's the only really actionable trade. I don't like to chase big drops like this and chase a move to go down. So the market can be volatile, which means the chance of higher V's. There's a good chance that we do get a pop up. That's probably worth shorting to go down. I'm going to be waiting for a nice little pop up to short. From here, I'm not chasing the short to the downside. I'm definitely not longing today. The easiest read you can see in the market altogether. When you have these CD band breaks, these lights are red and lights are red. I always trade small. You guys know, you all know the drill. NASDAQ is going to have an interesting setup today. Let's get that hedge pressure right here. So NASDAQ might immediately turn and go. Because there is no long setup here. If that hedge pressure were to break on NASDAQ to the upside, I'd be willing to take a scalp from here just to there only. So in the interim, you know, there's possible scalps to the upside. I don't like to scalp long setups unless I got a nice strong bounce on like a bull zone or something to go. We're clearly in bear zones today, so not really going to touch it. You know, like you. And DD 0.5, yeah, take a look at that. That number is slowly starting to deteriorate. DD is less than 0.5. You're flipping over to bear market. Let me show you what monthly maps look like. So the way to read the monthly maps here. I'll get little cheat sheets for those of you who are in the training program. I can pop this up for you real quick. You go to your training area. Huge things are happening, you guys. The marketplace beta is already active. It's already taken some sales. We're putting out some new products. Everything's pretty good. I can't release it yet, but we promise we'll let you guys check it out. Let's put that up there. There's a liquidity map there. It's super pumped. We have our third big white label client popping out a platform for them. They'll be featured on the marketplace as well. Okay, let's look at monthly map. So the way to read this, I'm gonna pick a nice bright white color. You guys can see this. So I'm drawing just a line that's connecting the bottom of these bull zones. Bull zones are the darker gray on mine, and bear zones are the lighter gray. You can see that this little kind of arrow right here is pointing up, and that matches this one right here. So what it means is bulls are exiting positions. Like the shape of the monthly map is telling you what to happen. Look, we're selling off. Somebody asked me today, you know, what's going on? There's news or something? Not really. This is just the market reacting to the landscape changing. When the landscape is changing in the future, so this is looking days into the future, like 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Can you all see that? Whenever the market shifts, you can clearly see that at any time between now and the next week, bulls are going to be liquidating positions, just so happens it's starting today. That's very cool how that works. So on the bear side, same token. Bear side sloping up. A little bit of a dip. Holding flat. In general, we can assume the bear side's also sloping up. So short positions are accumulating. If you look at both of these coins, you can see that people are shorting the market a little higher from up here, this consolidating area. People started shorting, right? And if you short it, depending on how far in or out of the money you short, it's going to cost people. If you're buying like in the money or at the money puts, it just takes a little tiny bit to trigger that delta. So bulls are liquidating, bears are shorting harder. You see that? So either case, bulls exiting. This is on Qs. Qs. Bears. So a bull, in our definition, is somebody that longs the market and sells their long to cash when they don't want it. A bear, in our definition, is somebody that shorts the market and covers their long to cash when they don't want it. Bears exiting, or entering, sorry. Shorts. You can see that in this particular mode, everyone's selling. People that are long are selling, people that are short are selling. When everyone's selling, when they're both pointing up, you're going to get very nasty pressure. You're going to get that shift. Does everyone see that? So, isn't that cool how monthly maps are that good at telling you what's going on? Today, everyone's selling, and the structure has been there. Yeah, we've been talking about the imminent volatility. The space between bull and bear zone is starting to get wild with a bunch of weirdness inside of it. The bigger the space, volatility is increasing. So over the next week, we're going to have a volatile week. So the market can do a lot of crazy stuff. So the bull market party for the short term is slightly over. Remember my streams like a week or two ago, I was mentioning how for the first time in the entire bull run, I said this is a temporary topping pattern. You're going to see some tops. You guys remember that? In a hotel room, and I said that. JOLTS at 24 minutes. If somebody heard something, the structure, yeah, I think the structures picked that up as far as a week ago. We saw that volatility was imminent, and now we see that the market just shifted dynamic. So we're just selling off. The bull market's still bullish. You can see the DD band, its ratio is still 50% or higher. So market's still bullish in the bigger sense, but it's just not actually tradable today. So today's a very awesome glorified sit out day. This is going to run to this yellow line right here. I think the 52.33 is what we're targeting. But for me, you guys know me when I'm trading this Robin Cup here. I don't ever really. I only trade something I know is high probability. I'm going to stay off of this one today. How are y'all? I love you guys. I missed y'all. Do me a favor, friends. You can smash that like button right hand. Let's take a look at some tech stocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the scanner. I'm going to look for hedge pressure breakdown. Do we have any breaks that are creating some downside movement? Start by volume. No hedge breaks yet on tech. So let's see if there's any MHP break. Just a couple of stocks there too. Okay, so let's see. We have illiquidity pockets. Let's look for any breakouts announcing. Everything is open bearish today, and less than MHP. Let's see if we have any accelerating stocks on the monthly scale. Apple. So you got a lot of your tech stocks just opening up below monthly hedge pressure, which is really, really scary that the market's just kind of flipping around. So this is definitely setting up for some strong selling pressure. You can see how the market dipped down here. I'm not buying the dip. I'm just kind of waiting on this. There's nothing really to long off of this. Being very smart today. Jolts in 20 minutes. Be careful today. Uh, 5233 is a liquidity pivot that comes from a technique that we teach, Patty. So it's a target that's constructed off of this particular day at the end of February 21st. Here, and this is just a high volume pivot off of the illiquidity pivots technique. So it basically forecasts an extended target from here to there based on the risk interval principles. So illiquidity pivot has margin buffer limit is what we're dealing with. So over here we create this, you see how there's pivoting action right here and here, etc. So it's here because that move created it. So like we had this high volume pivot sitting here. We're on these yellow lines are some of the coolest things as far as like run ups and such. This day right here, you know, almost a month later, you can see there's an actual pivot right off of it. You see right when we touch it. Let me just go here. High volume. And it's just actionable the entire time. These are some of the strongest things you can do. It's a direct exploit of futures. Has to do with the risk of positions held by large institutions, and the program called SPAN, SPAN, the CME group has that sets margin requirements for minimum margin requirements for clearing firms, and this we come up with the red line. Let me say the yellow line and green line. We call them risk intervals and illiquidity pivots from that. Aw, Annie, nice to meet you. Yeah, I've been having some family stuff, and I've been traveling. So I was in Dallas for maybe three days last week, and then my mom's going through some stuff, surgery, this week. So I've been, and of course we had the holiday, right? So, and I had a doctor's appointment today. I'm getting pretty sick. Sick of being awesome. Yeah, mom's doing good. Is my mom at Marble Harbor now? She's at Marble Harbor. No, she's getting what do you call it? Cataract stuff, eye surgery. They do the procedure at I have to be there at 6 in the morning on Thursday. Tom X, is there a way to backtest for the day using rewind feature? We don't have a feature like that, but that would be so cool if we did. I think, and you know, as the years go by, we're going to be open to creating new features. You know, there might even be a point in time where we move away from TradingView, create our own, so we can have some kind of extended effects like that. I like the idea to reset, or kind of like a slider where you can grab it and drag it forward and stuff, and watch the indications change. Yeah, thanks, man. Tiras, appreciate it. And thank you, Annie. Appreciate you so much. Yeah. Life is going good. I think I'm in worse shape than my mom. I have extremely severe hypertension. Like level 3 hypertension. I was hospitalized 2 times last year for it. So I have to go get some new meds for my BP, for my blood pressure. It's like genetics, stress and all that. When you get in your 40s, man, they tell you, like, blood pressure is the silent killer. The shit starts to, like, pile up on you. I mean, she's... Yeah, to step away on a bad day, you're like, yeah, like, really? For my health? Bye, I'm out. Peace. My brother has it too. Like, both my brother and I have always been like very healthy too. Like, we don't have any health problems. My brother was a professional baseball player. He's a pitcher for the Giants organization when he was younger, and he also took blood pressure medicine since high school. What's BB for April? 14.4. Let me type it for you. So today, if you're just tuning in, there's really no trade setup I can find today. Market's very benign. There's not much going on. So I'm kind of waiting on this one. There's nothing to bounce off of. We have JOLTS coming out in 12 minutes, so the JOLTS are probably going to give it some activity. But in this particular mode, there's going to be a short sim. It's nothing worth gambling on. Breaking DD, market's already irrational. If you go to our cheat sheets, if you guys can see it here in the Discord, there's a lot of interesting information here, especially when we come to like risk management section, irrational market. We talk about this, all kind of summary on these alerts here and how to read this. And these are very important things to take note of. Where's the bands? Right here. So outside of DD bands, the light turns red, as you can see. Irrational market, I always trade small. Easy to see that. If I were to do anything at all, I'm going to trade it very small. Volatility is potentially high, so the market can move very quickly. Look rapidly at the open. 54 to 44 market just dived like 10 points without even hesitating. So as I drew at the start of the day, like we always like to do, I mean, I literally drew this volatility increasing. So the market literally moved and got volatile. how cool that is? You can sense that when you have bullish VIX, the market can get more volatile. The V's are bigger. So when you're trading, obviously you have to understand how volatility or the thinness of the market plays a role. There's less buffering of selling and buying because buyers and sellers on the other side of the order are spread out further in time and further in space. You don't have like a wall, like a big thick wall you're bouncing a ball off of to resist. The wall's made out of a cracker. You hit it and it's chipping away pretty quick. Long distance running. I think I should do, I'm going to start doing, yeah, something cardio. Spin. I went to a spin class a couple weeks back. Biking. Or I should just get a bike. But the roads in Houston are terrible for biking. There's a park nearby because I live in the city, but yeah, I always wanted to get a bike and just like long distance riding. Talking about team jogging. You want to hear the team jogging story? Team jogging is such a great story. So DXY. Vin says you hate the roads in town. Muchos roads are garbage. Yeah. Wait, which area? I know you live close to me, but like which like kind of like zoom in a little bit without doxing yourself too hard. Like which area of Muchos do you live in? Like put in me some streets. I'm closer to the. Okay. I'm closer to yeah. I'll text you. Team jogging. All right, as cool as you guys think that I am, like as cool as I am, which is very cool. When I was in high school, I used to play laser tag a lot. Yeah, I'm definitely like Barney Stinson. I used to laser tag since I was a kid, but I used to play competitively. If you didn't know that was a thing, that's a thing. If you feel free to unsubscribe to the channel now, or subscribe harder for some better, awesome stories. In my life, I've been in all kinds of stuff. Every extracurricular known to man. I was like the male Jesse Spano in high school. Jesse Spano from Saved by the Bell, right? Just captain of every team, captain of every club. I got so many letters in high school. Like I've got a bag full of them. Letters every time you place in the top 3 in UIL. And I competed in math, science, computer science, debate, theater. Here we go. Hold on, 8 minutes. Academic decathlon. I was in everything. So I competed in computer programming. I competed in 3 different math competition, like mental math, calculator typing, general math. I was the person that compete in everything, and I was always like hyper competitive and all this stuff. So anything I did to the extreme. Even down to like playing video games or whatever. I like to compete and I like to win. So I always played laser tag. My brother and I got into it when we were kids. We would go to Astro World, which was a Six Flags theme park we had in Houston. Rest in peace. Been gone for a while. And they had laser tag there. My mom would drop us off in the summer. So it's season passes. And we would, you got tired of riding the rides after some time. And as teenagers, we would just like hang out at the park with their friends. But then we got into laser tag. So my mom would drop us off and we play laser tag like all day long. So whenever I got older, there's a place called Laser Quest. It was a laser tag studio that was probably a couple more still left in Canada. They mostly all closed down. And then Laser Quest was just like a laser tag place, but like a very professional and like had like super awesome gear and stuff. And I worked there. I think it was 17 years old. I had a job there. And I found out, they had tournaments into all the different centers. There's probably like hundreds of them around the world, Europe and America. They had teams that would compete. There was a tryout. It was a big deal. You would try out. You would top 9 people in the city would form a team with the 10th as an alternate, and there's hundreds of people that tried out. So all the people that worked there were like also kind of like they loved to play the game and stuff, and they all tried out. So most of us that worked there kind of made the team. So I made the team, and we would travel and compete, and it was just kind of like a fun thing. You'd compete against the other cities and whatever. And the team I was on, Houston at the time, especially the top team in the world, in the late 90s of all things. And, you know, quickly got dethroned, but we're trying to make a comeback when I started playing. So like in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, Houston was on its like road to recovery, like they're like coming back around. They got new players, blah, blah, blah. And so we went to this tournament, right? And you know, we won our region, then we went to the national tournament. So we went to this Colorado Springs. I remember completely. And Colorado Springs was like the national tournament. We were there. It was all the best teams from around the country, Canada. And we got there, and you know, we heard that this team from Denver, this team Jogging story, was like really good. And that, like, what made laser tag a fun game to compete in, it was like, of course, it's like a bunch, you know, me and a bunch of my fellow nerds competing, but you're in like this giant maze, right? And you just imagine what team jogging is applicable to trading, by the way. So this is where the story's going. If you're like, why is he talking about this? Think about like it's just giant maze. There's like ramps that go up the platforms and stuff, and you just have like these little areas where people can sit and walk and be at. And it's all about like positioning for coverage and being able to cover your teammates, right? So like you could be here with your back to something and somebody's trying to dogfight you out of there. You need somebody there to dogfight them and somebody there to dogfight them. It's all about positioning your 9 guys around for maximum coverage and maximum defense. And so it was an art form about positioning, and so it's kind of cool. You had a bunch of math nerds coming up with ways to solve that problem. Anyways, all right, we were like this, you know, group of athletic dudes. We were all athletic. I was athletic. You know, like just one of our guys played basketball all the time. One of our persons was like a semi-pro street racer. We were like cool kids, we thought. Well, in the nerdy sense that we were. And like Houston, we're like the badasses, right? Cool kids, you know, doing cool stuff, super athletic, and we were tough. And people were like, okay, the Houston team's pretty good this year. There's some tough hybrid competitors. And we heard about the Denver team was really good. And we show up to the tournament, right? Denver is just like, I mean, you think I'm nerdy. These are like the dweebiest kids ever. Not shaming any reason whatsoever. Many of them were overweight. So we're like, okay, there's no way they have stamina. Many of them were like, you know, smoking outside, things like that. And we were just like, okay, we got this. How can they be that good? I mean, you know, they were like, to completely look like underdogs. You know, not really like on the surface, you know, don't judge a book by its cover is like the moral of the story. And the team captain was this lawyer guy, this older lawyer. And he was really, really smart. And like, we're just like, yeah, we got these guys. We heard they're tough, but they don't look so tough. They look like after about 10 or 15 minutes, they're gonna run out of stamina. We're the athletic guys. We totally got this. So as an underdog story, just like get kind of fast forward to the end of the story. Let me tell you how we got our ass completely whooped by Denver. Like not only whooped, but embarrassingly whooped this tournament. I mean, it was bad. So we couldn't figure out why nobody could beat this team. Every game we come out, this team would just dominate every good team. The best teams from Canada, the best team from wherever. And they didn't look like a team that would do it. We didn't understand like who's their. They didn't have any star players. Houston at the time had like 3 or 4 of the top players in the world, like ranked individuals scoring on our team. We were like a team of all-stars. And the Denver team had like nobody in the top 10. So we're like, how on earth are they doing so well? Well, in the nutshell, teamwork being the key there. It doesn't take extreme athleticism in a team game. It really takes teamwork. While we were like a bunch of, you know, a team full of Kobe's, they were a well-seasoned team with teamwork. And so the team jogging story is the power of working together as a team. What ended up happening, we found out after the fact what they did. This lawyer guy was so brilliant. Like, while even though they were like, you know, unhealthy, you know, smoking and you know, not really, you know, super athletic, like we thought they had stamina, they didn't need stamina because they didn't exhaust their stamina. They played against the strengths that they had. They didn't move around a lot. Well, we moved around a lot. Our strategy was to mobilize. When you'd move, you'd pair up in partners and you'd move together. They didn't move a lot. They'd anchor in a spot. And, you know, strategy is really, really brilliant, actually. And everyone kind of like learned from this. So what we used to do when we'd get there, we'd hang out with our friends, party, you know, go drink and hit up some clubs, whatever. We would have fun. You know, the reason to go out of town and meet all your friends, see all your friends from other cities. So we'd spend like a couple extra days there, having some fun. But see, we never saw the Denver people out there with us, the bars, hanging out. They were never there. We didn't even really know them. A mysterious group. What we found out was they would get there a week early. They would wake up every single morning, and the lawyer guy would make them jog together for an hour as a team. And these, like I said, these guys aren't that athletic, so they would jog until one of them was puking on the side of the road. They'd all stop, wait for their teammate. Their teammate was done, they'd get back to running. They'd run. They would literally force themselves to like detox because they're all like smokers and stuff. So literally, team jogging was what they would do. They would get together and do something as a team. Jogging was what they did. And again, it was to prep yourself for the climate and get ready for the event. So imagine like we went up to Colorado and we're from Houston. The air is so different there. You ever try to run when the elevation changes? You can't do it. Like your brain just can't handle that low oxygen environment, right? Well, they would run every tournament to make sure they got used to it, force themselves to acclimate to the environment. While we're out like drinking, partying and stuff. So that's one of the things they would do. And then when their teammates would kind of follow the sideline, they'd all wait, they'd team up and they'd come back. So team jogging was actually their motto. And it meant teamwork. And so what the thing was that every single time for the whole week they were there, they would get together. They would go into the game like normal nights, like before the tournament, and they would go in there all with pens and paper, and they would draw out the map. And they would come out with like a hand-drawn map, and they'd go sit in the hotel, and they would plan every single piece of that map. They'd come out with the most optimized strategy. Well, again, we're out there goofing around. They'd get up in the morning and run, and they'd go study the maze after that. And they would come into the games, and it seems like everywhere you'd walk, you'd have two people shooting at you. It was like, you felt like you were not fighting a team of 9, you felt like you're fighting a team of 90. It was like you couldn't catch leverage unless your entire team was able to catch leverage in somewhere like that. They just had everything so worked out and perfect. So it was a testament, kind of what I always carried with me. I love telling that story because it doesn't take a genius or an athletic superstar to be great in a team game. And a team game is something about working with your teammates, knowing the game and exploiting the things that you know. They knew we're out there partying and having fun. They knew exploiting that weakness is they're going to study up the map, and all they had to do was put somebody in a corner, and that person owns that corner. If you're trying to muscle them out of that corner, well, then they would have this way of communicating like, hey, I'm in trouble. There's like a call they'd have, and their teammate or somebody nearby would hear it and immediately assist them. So no way could we squeeze or muscle these guys out of their positions. You would walk in thinking you're going to just completely like, base roll this entire team. And you walked out like just embarrassingly beat even the superstar players, putting up weak scores. And it just kind of showed that like in a team game, that planning, working together, running as a team, things like that is like the best thing for something like that. So, yeah, so like they would just get acclimated by just running. And running helped them, like a lot of them smoked. It would help these, these bigger guys that smoked, obviously, prepare for like exhaustive tournament. And so, yeah, there were stories, they would tell the stories because afterwards we were just like, we walk out, they've got like this little shit-eating grin on their face, like they knew that they beat everybody. And when they won the tournament, afterwards we all went to dinner, we're all hanging out, we're just asking, we're like, dude, how did you, like, what do you guys do? Like, y'all are so fucking good. And they're just like the lawyer guy smiling. He's just like, he's like, I get up and I make these guys go running with me in the morning, since he was the only athletic one. We looked at them and they're like smiling. They're, yeah, he makes us run. So we're looking at our friends. We're like, you run? And like, yeah, actually I run. And they're making fun of each other. Yeah, he threw up twice the other day. And it's just like, It goes to show that additional prep work, knowing your environment, you don't just go in and think that being good at laser tag is the winning story of that, the winning part of that story. It's not being good at the sport. It's being good against who you're playing against, exploiting their weakness, okay? It's knowing your environment and exploiting its weakness. It's knowing where you can strengthen yourself and your weaker links by relying on other stronger parts of your team to kind of pull together. And so like in our kind of coaching environment, what we teach traders here is that, you know, this is a game where you're playing against somebody. You don't have to be the best trader in the world. You just have to be better than the person you're trading against. And this is a really strong metaphor. And my daddy said this thing when we were younger. And it was, you don't have to be, you know, anybody can become a piano teacher. That was the saying. Anybody in the world can become a piano teacher. As long as you're one lesson ahead of your student, you can be a teacher. And so nobody is too inexperienced to be a teacher, and nobody's too experienced to learn. And so what we teach people here, especially Team Jogging, it became our slogan here, because we really spend a lot of time making sure that we move together as a team, as we learn something. The process here at Rock Scooter is so different than anything you'll ever experience. I'm not just a guy that made some indicators and people buy it and you'll hang out with me all day long. These indicators are meticulously tested, back tested by a group of people, volunteers in our lifetime community. Garrett Otto mentioned earlier today, he's doing a test on a DD band. So we have a back test, right? And anything that we have here, we spend months, if not year, whatever. Like DD band, we spent like 8 months testing this before we even released it. We get together as a team, we work as a team, we discuss the math, we look at the probabilities, the backtest results, everything. And it's like we have meetings, we used to call them study halls. Nowadays, we just call them the lifetime Zoom calls. But the lifetime group gets together, it's part of the perk, we run as a team. You guys have a new idea? We have new stats or new backtest or new idea, we're gonna run something. We get together, discuss as a team. We look at the math. It's not like, hey, I made an indicator, it has to work. It's like, we made an indicator, let's look at the numbers. If it doesn't work, we throw it out. If it works, we keep it. And we run like a little think tank. We run together. And before anything is released to the weaker links of the community, like the newer people are usually the least experienced with our stuff. Before we release anything new, we make sure that the indicator is robust enough for the weakest link of the community and the Team Jogging philosophy. So the process is we have to create risk management and position sizing rules around any of our tools that come out. And I have to trade it with my own money enough to where I'm comfortable with it before I even teach it to anyone else. And that comes out of the idea is that we want to make sure that our weakest link in the community of, 5,500 user accounts, it's a big community. So we have to make sure that we create something that is the most applicable to everyone, especially someone that has just showed up. It's like, we can't just throw something complicated. And people say, well, why can't I come to these Zoom calls that are happening there lifetime only? Well, the idea is that for you to participate in that, you have to kind of be an expert at everything else, know everything else that we teach, so that you can participate and see it from all angles. Because trust me when we say those group calls are what create the tools and the robustness of the tools that you guys do like. You get to rely that, you have not just me, but a group of volunteers, mathematicians, programmers, all of us in there, making sure everything we make has an application. It's robust. There's rules around it. And we create that as a group. And that's the Team Jogging we do here. So we run together as a group. Every tool that you see here, from liquidity map to hedge pressure, DD bands to red lines, green lines, has been meticulously created through this Team Jogging process. Create something, it's a cool idea. I find an exploit. Okay, we're exploiting margin requirements in this indicator. Make something, play around with it, come up with some ideas, present it to that team. The team takes it, runs with it, plays around with it. We come back, we meet up, we talk about it. What'd you see? What'd you notice? What'd you not like? Well, we noticed that, when this happens, it's good, but when this happens, it's not good. Okay, well, let's make a rule about that. Don't do it when that happens. And then we come up with the irrational rules through that particular mentality. And it's not like we're going out there trying to be like superstar traders all one at a time. We're just trying to be better than the people we're trading against. And with the edge that we have, with the slight edge, and each tool that we have is to create a slight edge, multiple slight edges that add up could possibly be a big edge against that single trader you're trading against. So having a little bit more information and repeatability tilt the odds slightly in your favor. And in betting in games like this, zero-sum betting, you have to have better odds than the person you're trading against. So our goal is to create something that has repeatable odds, and that's what you're trying to do. And that, of course, our strategy is not applied, or the tools we teach in Rocket Scooter and my strategy that I teach with it aren't applied in all situations. Like right now, I chose to sit out because my rules tell me to, and we teach those rules, of course, in our program. But the idea is that I just know that if you watch at the beginning, like let me just see if I can't get on here and draw. So I'm gonna delete the laser tag stuff. Wrap up this right in a minute. But like, you might see that I have some kind of like predictive nature to some of the things I do. And you might not see what I drew at the very beginning of the day. The very beginning of the day was that when VIX is bullish, the market just kind of becomes volatile with bigger V's. And you can see that after we dipped, tightened up, the market's becoming volatile with bigger V's. Do we all see that? There's your JOLTS today. We dipped, moved, came back down. So it's like, okay, this guy's a crystal ball. That's pretty fucking cool. He drew this. It's kind of doing that. Ever since the stream started, we dipped here, and the guy's saying, oh, the VIX is bullish. It's probably going to just be choppy. And it's very not tradable. We know that for a fact. We're really good at isolating that. So I know when VIX is choppy, I'm not going to get a nice clean trend. Scalps are there, so I'm looking for scalp setups. But on S&P and NASDAQ, there's really nothing to trade off of. There's no resistances or supports down here. Kind of like in no man's land. So I have nothing to even pivot off of to make a trade. So I'm not doing anything. So I didn't get faked out shorting here and get squeezed. I didn't get faked out longing here and get squeezed. I just know it's choppy. I'm going to let it do its thing. So you guys are saying you saw on Joe Rogan, you have the same health issues, 10x health genetic test, where they figured out that the year your body likes vitamin and minerals and medications. Oh, really? Interesting. Was the news good or bad? The news was a non-effect. Anytime the news comes out and the market moves in a direction and returns to where it started, it priced itself in already, so it's not really an effect. So the news, let's see what it came out to be in the fundamental sense. Let's read what. So we have to read this with the jobs report as well, which come out on Thursday. But the JOLTS came down underneath the expected value. And when JOLTS are coming down in this environment, either people are getting laid off and jobs are closing out, or jobs are getting filled. And the last I checked, jobs are getting filled. So let's go look at the jobs reports to kind of pull that out really quick. Initial jobless claims and continuing jobless claims. We're touching that yellow line 5233 right now in S&P. The continuing jobless claims have been somewhat in a decline since late 2023. You can see right here. So it means that people that were unemployed are getting their jobs back. That's filling up those available jobs in the JOLTS. Initial jobless claims. So the amount of people getting laid off, that's what this is telling you. There are fewer and fewer people getting laid off every week. So it's showing us a strengthening job market. So as filled roles, or as open jobs are getting filled, the other piece of the puzzle is that people that were unemployed are getting their jobs back, and fewer people are getting fired from jobs. So when you put those three together, it shows that there's a strengthening job market. And you can actually look at the CPI and see that inflation's coming down because of that, because more people working, which means there's more competitive wages, but we're getting paid less for the job than they were a year or two ago. So The news in general is good for the economy, and the stock market didn't seem to care about it. It's pretty much a wash. It didn't really trend either direction. It's just a nice, still stable, flat thing. Well, the JOLTS did jolt the market, unintended. It really didn't do much. I lived in Denver for 10 years in thin air. But every time I go to Colorado, man, I never get used to the air. But yeah, so end of the day, the team jogging principle comes down to the fact is that it doesn't take athleticism to beat the team. It just takes being smarter and working together as a team. And it means that, like, you have to know the strengths of your weakest player. And the weakest player was, the one of our friends, the overweight friend that smoked. No stamina, and clearly no stamina from smoking. And, essentially get yourself worked up into shape to get used to physical, exertion in the environment every time you go. They would go to tournaments like in Texas. It was really good to like do this in, places where it was like hotter and more humid. We would just force ourselves to immediately get acclimated to the climate. I was like, damn, that is smart. You guys are getting used to the climate. And here we are, sneaking into a bar. 'Cause, like I said, I was 18, and drinking and hanging out with my friends. So it didn't matter, 4 players in the top 10 in the world. In a team game, teamwork is all that matters. Teamwork is where the win comes from. And it wasn't even close. I mean, we got raffle stomped. It was bad. The score was just embarrassingly bad, and nobody could figure out like who's the all-star player. Every game, it's like they all just put up solid scores. There was no like all-star person. So teamwork is really big, and all you have to do is be better than the people you're playing against. You don't have to be the best in the world at it. Your trading gurus out there will sit there and pretend they're the best in the world. My stuff is the best in the world, and that's just a stupid mentality to go into a game like this. There's no way to measure that you're the best in the world. It's a silly claim to begin with, but also your goal is just to be better than the people you're trading against. And most of the time, there's not really edge out there with a lot of retail traders. How do you know if you're better than the person you're trading against? Your win rate should be high. Means on average, in the bulk sense of people you're trading against, you're beating them more than they're beating you. And you get that from consistency. You find something that works and you isolate it in the environment it does work, and then you just focus on it. And that becomes a trick. So in that mentality, I don't trade outside of the boundaries of what I'm supposed to trade. So right now I'm sitting out because DE bands are broken and I have no pivots to trade off of. I'm supposed to trade small anyways when those lights are red, and I don't have anything actionable to trade off of. So I know the volatility is going to be growing as I'm drawing bullish VIX. As you see my arrow I drew at the start of the market, VIX is moving in the direction I drew. Even with this sense of a crystal ball-ish in a way, not really a crystal ball, it's just isolating the highest probable move, and that's very easy to read. You may think, oh, this guy can predict the market. Well, nobody can predict the market, but we do have odds on things that do happen. And the odds are pretty high that the 2 things I drew on the screen, 3 things, I'm going to recenter where this was, are going to happen. And just so happened I was right. There's odds that I could be wrong, of course, but just happened I was right. I knew it was going to be choppy and I have a pivot to trade off of. I wasn't going to take a long. I wasn't going to buy a dip. I just let it fall. And instead I chose to sit out because I was going to be trading small anyways without a pivot to trade off of. Then, well, why would I make a trade instead of just jump into a direction, which is more to me akin to gambling. I'm very good at picking pivots. So outside of my comfort zone, I don't do anything. I just sit out, tell you a story about laser tag. And that control is really what a professional is all about. You know what you're good as a pitcher. If you don't have a slider, don't throw one. If you have a really good fastball and maybe a curveball, you focus on what's good and you mix and match what's good to trick the batters. Your goal is not to go out there and master every kind of pitch. And my brother had a fastball and he actually had a really good slider and really good curveball. And he threw kind of sidearm, so it was really hard to hit. He focused on his strength, which is the idea that it was hard to hit. Right-handed batters and right-handed pitchers do not go well together when the right-handed pitcher throws sidearm, and most batters are right-handed. So ball comes across your body. It starts out left side of you and crosses in front of you. Every single pitch you feel like you're going to get hit. You choke up, you swing early, and you flub the ball up in the infield. My brother had in the Giants organization the lowest ERA in the history of the organization. Number one, he had 0.89 one year, and they also had the years he played the highest fly ball to ground ball ratio because people couldn't hit his gimmick in the lower ranks when he was in the minors. You couldn't hit it, so they would swing late. The ball would just pop up and land on the ground. They'd throw him out every time. Or ground ball to fly ball ratio. I said that backwards. People just basically flub the ball and ground out. It was almost boring watching him play, but people couldn't hit him because the trick. So he focused on the thing that worked and tried to become a master of all things. He had a thing that worked. You know, right-handed batter, he'd do the same way every time. Left-handed batter, he did something different. And you do the same thing in trading. You know what works for you. Stick to the plan. It's not out there. I watch traders go out there. It's so funny that I watch them do this. And these traders like to do this as well. It's like the trader that likes to show, like, draw a box around their best, like, 2 or 3 days. Their best day, like, look at this. I made 50K today. You know, check me out. And you're like, well, what about the other days? And they're quiet the other days. There's a difference between that person and someone like me who you watch every day. Unless I'm out of town or hospital or something. I'm showing you repeatability. They're showing you a lucky gamble. Those are people that are terrible to learn from. Because real traders don't do that. If you made 50K every day, repeatedly, retail trader, you'd be working at Goldman Sachs with a $40 million a year bonus to run a trading floor. You would take the job in a heartbeat. Nobody would turn that job down if you were trading at that magnitude. So people that show you a couple of days of gains and tell you I'm the best in the world, this and that, are complete lunatics, and you're going to lose all of your money doing that. People that are good that you learn from, even if you don't want to learn from here, are going to be people with control. They don't trade every day. They have a system that they apply and they don't deviate from it. They know when it works, they know when it doesn't work, and they have really strict rules they follow. If somebody, the telltale sign of a good trader is when somebody looks at the market, scribbles on their screen with a pen and says, I don't like what this is going to do today. I'm going to sit out. And they said that before it happened. I don't like what this is probably going to do today. I don't like what this is going to do today. I don't like what this is going to do today. I don't like it. I don't like bullish fix. I don't like choppy V markets. I don't like what it's going to do today. And it so happened I was right about it, what it's going to do. The odds are high that it was going to do that. It wasn't guaranteed, but the odds are high. And then I chose to sit out. The signs of a true professional knows where their strengths are and where their weaknesses are. And the team jogging aspect is an internal one with yourself, is that you need to, your internal pieces, your emotions, your logic center, everything need to also work together as a team. Second application of team jogging. You and your crazy brain, your crazy heart, and your crazy feelings all need to run together as a team too. Don't let one weak link destroy the rest of the others. I know it's a gamble. I know it's going to be crazy to try to trade this. I know it's going to be choppy. And I'm already trading small. Why would I want to go out there and risk any kind of possible swift sudden move against me for a choppy 10-point market that I can predict from the start of the day? So then I choose to sit out. That kind of foresight and ability to see you don't like what's in front of you and choosing to sit out is the aspect of team jogging. My emotions aren't telling me what to do. I don't have FOMO. I don't need to make a trade. I have a system. I know when to apply it. When it doesn't work, I sit out. And that's what we teach everyone here. The team jogging video was basically like this story. And I know people always keep asking like where it is, because I think I referenced it in one of the other videos. It comes down to the fact that you don't have to be a superstar athlete to be good in an athletic game. You don't have to be a math genius to be good as a trader. It helps, but it certainly is not all the pieces. You can be a math genius with terrible emotional control and make 50K one day and lose 50K the next. The well-rounded, talented trader is good at all of those things. You have a strategy, you have a position management strategy, a risk management strategy, like the size of the position, when to bail in a position, when to add to a position, when to apply your strategy, where to buy, where to sell, where to put a stop, all those things. You also have emotional control. What do you do when it goes against you and things go off the plan? Do you freak out? Do you have a plan, a backup plan? Those are all skills and control. What you guys hopefully see on the stream here is, I didn't take away when I got on the Robbins fifth place, and I got bumped. I'm probably 6th or 7th now. But whenever I got there, you guys saw me slowly. I didn't just gamble one day and get up there. After like 2 or 3 weeks of trading, I worked my way on there. Consistency is key, and just repeatability. And you kind of see that control that I have is how you operate in an environment like that. So. Oh, and for someone who played basketball, he finally felt it. Frickers, yeah, he threw a sidearm slider, top 10 in the nation, strikeouts in 9 innings. Also, I led the nation, hit batsman and hit batsman. Dude, that's awesome. Where did you play? If you played in the pros, you might have known my brother, Adam Cowart's brother. That's awesome. Sidearm. So yeah, I guess you're a right-handed pitcher because you hit a lot of batters. You must be right-handed. Most batters are right-handed, and you hit right-handed batters with your right-handed sidearm. Oh, in college? Oh, nice. My little bro played at K-State. He played. Yeah, your twin bro is a lefty. Oh, nice. Yeah, I used to play baseball when I was younger. So I remember the feeling of a ball coming towards you and you're like choking up. You don't want to swing the bat. You're like pull the bat into your chest. So it feels like it's coming inside you, and you're gonna swing early from the shorter what do they call it? Shorter. You're like when you pull your arms closer, swing faster, or you swing earlier because it's less angular distance, or sorry, less physical distance for the same angle you swing. Your arm, your radius on your circle is shorter, so you swing earlier, flub out. But yeah, so you just have to know what you're doing. So here it is, and people say, "Man, this guy's not making any trades." I'll tell you, go find your guru out there. They're doing something that seems exciting, and ask them to show you like 10 days. Hey, can I see like the last 10 days of your trading, like just like straight, without any gaps? No, they won't show you that. They'll draw a box around their 2 or 3 best days and go out there and blast it on social media and tell you how great they are. And then, delete the bad ones and then have an excuse like, well, what happened this week? Oh, I showed you last week when you didn't believe me. It's always like, so be careful out there for professional storytellers, what they are. You try to pick any good piece of news in their own life to try to sell it as a selling point to learn from them. A really good trader will be transparent every single day without hiccup. If they really want you to say like, look at me, I'm good, they'll show up every day and show you. So you want to see consistency when you're learning as a trader. I tell you, when you go learn from people, just try to learn from anybody that does it every single day without stopping. You can learn whether they're good or bad very quickly from that. You can see what they're consistent with. Do they have rules? Yada yada. But somebody who like speckles in a good or bad day and posts their Telegram channel, hey, check out my Telegram, I had a 40K day today. You're kind of being foolish to do that. You're not going to learn anything in that environment. You're going to learn how to be consistent or have any kind of control. That just sounds like gambling. Like I said, if somebody's having 40K days and they're consistent with that, they're not going to be selling a Telegram channel. That's for sure. So, getting a 95 mile per hour is pretty scary. You also didn't get to hit a ton after high school. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the team jogging story. All right, I'm gonna call it. No trades today. As you can see, drew a V, saw a V, not doing anything. There's an art form to what I do, and there's a little bit of science to it, and of course it's all math underneath the hood. So I'm gonna call it. Not every day is a trading day, but the coolest part about knowing your style and knowing how, being good at what it is you do, being good at your own style, you can pluck out, today's gonna be a bad day, I don't want to touch it. And the market just chops around like I thought it would. It feels great. It feels like I'm in control. And that's why you want to be. Team jogging saves your life in this world. We're an awesome team here. We'd like for you guys to join us if you haven't. You can buy the platform outright. We have this awesome deal. So for just buying the software, it's normally 4,000, but it's now $27.99. There's a little sale we had going on. There's information in the Discord. Also, you can just put the monthly fee, $35 a month to get the platform, all the tools. Data fees are $3 and some change. We're slowly growing to become one of the biggest, best trading platforms in the country, planet, and galaxy. So, you know, we're growing faster every day, and we appreciate you guys supporting the group, and we love you all. So come tomorrow. We'll see you all bright and early. Maybe it's a better trading day. We'll team jog again tomorrow. Love you.